This game is so boring. I don't want to sit here and just keep checking the hallways and turning on lights and just waiting for animatronics to kill me. I can do so many other better things with my time. Like I could watch a movie, like a movie about, I don't know. What if it's about killer animatronics and the main character he could be just like the character in this game where he doesn't really say anything. But what if he was Nicolas Cage too? Yo, that sounds like such a great movie. Yes, that is right. Today we are going to be reviewing the 2021 TVMA rated movie, Willy's Wonderland. And as you could probably see, it stars Nicolas Cage. So this is already going to be a classic. So let's go. Let's just go ahead and just jump into it, because why not? So Willy's Wonderland has a 5.5 out of 10 rating on IMDb and a popularity of 2,069.
Nice.
Very nice. Let's go ahead and get into the cast. Nicolas Cage, the man, the myth, the legend himself, is of course the janitor. We have Emily Tosta as Liv, Beth Grant as Sheriff Lund, Eric Reitz as Tex McAdoo.
My name is Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Chris Warner as Jed Love, and a whole bunch of other characters who aren't important in the group of teenagers that we all know are here strictly just to die and up that death count. So let's go!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
And speaking of which, let's go ahead and get that death counter up there in the corner, because not even 3 minutes into the movie, we are already using it. Yeah, so not even kidding. Within the first 3 minutes of the movie even starting, we're already up to our first 2 deaths on the death counter. So this movie wastes absolutely no time just getting into it. And during those 2 deaths, you actually see that there's a little girl hiding in Willy's Wonderland as all this is going on. Don't forget that. That's important for later. So now we get to see the ultimate peak male performance in Nicolas Cage as he's driving his awesomely cool car and runs over a spike strip that was just left out in the middle of the road, because you know those are always left out in the middle of the road, because why not? And now he has to get his tires repaired because his tires got spike stripped. And now that his absolutely wonderful car has just been totally trashed, now he's got to take a tow all the way into town just so he can get it fixed. And at the same time, Liv is trying to burn down Willy's Wonderlands because guess what? She was the girl who was in Willy Wonderlands when her parents died. What? I know, right? Complete like M. Night Shyamalan type twist right there. I bet you never saw that coming. But now, he's got to wait to get his tires fixed, and those aren't coming until morning, and the place only accepts cash. But don't worry, the tow truck driver Jed has just the solution. Why don't you go clean up at Willy's Wonderlands? I'm pretty sure Tax Doug Dimmadome Maxadoo will pay you for it. So he gets taken down to Willy's Wonderland, where he meets Tex, and Tex basically explains to him, this place has been abandoned for quite a while, but I want to reopen it and make it into something special. So, if you fix it up, clean it, make it look all nice, I'll pay for everything that your car needs, and if you don't, then you're basically stuck here. So obviously, Mr. Cage is gonna clean it. All the while this is going on, we return to side story B, where we rejoin the group of ragtag teenagers who mean absolutely nothing to this story, who are gonna continue their plot to burn down Willy's Wonderland. So Nicolas Cage gets to cleaning, because if he doesn't clean up this entire place by the morning, his car's not gonna get fixed. But as he's cleaning up Willy's Wonderland, he notices that something seems odd with the store, when a new enemy appears. Yeah, Nicolas Cage turns around and standing right behind him is what appears to be a cracked out Ozzy the Ostrich. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe this animatronic just somehow like stumbled to behind him, AI is weird like that. But then it says that it's gonna eat his face.
I'm gonna feast on your face.
And as we all know, AI is incredibly terrifying, so Nicolas Cage does the only responsible thing and opens up a can of whoop ass. Now, before anyone asks, yes, I am going to be adding the animatronics to the death counter. I know they're not people, but they still die, so add it to the death counter. So Ozzy the Ostrich gets absolutely eviscerated, Mortal Kombat style. But that's nothing to Nicolas Cage. He's got to get cleaned up and get back to work. I mean, he's got to have this place cleaned by morning. So now he's got to go start on the bathroom where somebody doesn't know the proper etiquette when you're supposed to be going to the restroom. So yeah, he gets attacked by great value Donkey Kong over here, but obviously Donkey Kong ain't nothing without his barrels, so this monkey gets absolutely curb stomped into the urinal, but slightly right after he gets plunged in the face. Just a little bit of sprinkle for some extra, you deserve to be annihilated. So, as we all expected, Nicolas Cage is just starting to tear through all these animatronics. I mean, we've already got 2 of them down. So he's just going through these like he's going through tater tots from Sonic. But because of that, we now have to go to Side Story B, where we meet the teenagers that nobody cares about once again. And as stated before, they're getting ready to burn it all down because they're going to rid this town of Willy Wonderland. But the only thing is, she remembers that he's still in there, and you can't burn a place down with a guy inside, which good on you. I will give you props for that, for not burning Nicolas Cage alive. But she decides that she's gonna have to go in there and save him. So she does, and it goes great. So yeah, obviously it doesn't go well. She immediately starts getting chased down by the alligator, and once she escapes the alligator, she's now in Siren Sarah's domain. I don't know, it's some weird looking jungle thing. I guess that's where fairies live. So now she gets chased into there, and then she runs into Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage, again, says nothing. And then they go on about their way, and now the rest of the group is trying to figure out what they're gonna do, so they decide to go up onto the roof also, and they're all standing up there, and now seems like a great time for everyone to argue with each other. So one of them decides to tackle the other one, and what happens when you tackle somebody on the roof of a building? That's right, you fall through it. And so does the rest of the group. Because luckily, the roof of this building is made out of cardboard. Like, what? He tackled him. There's no way, unless this guy is like a 300-pound linebacker in the NFL, there's no way, and even that, there's no way you'd fall through the roof of a building. But apparently, plotline. So now everybody's in there. And now that everyone's in there, what seems like the best thing to do? Oh, well, the best thing to do is for 2 of them to sneak off to go to the super fun time room, which I'm sure you can guess what they're going to do, because they're morons. Just like all the kids in this movie. So they run off, and now we're stuck with our one group with Nicolas Cage and the rest of them, who are less degenerates. But I'm sure all of y'all have been wondering this entire time, why are the animatronics coming to life and trying to kill people? Well, exposition time.
If that name sounds familiar to you, it should. Jerry was one of the last century's most sick and sadistic serial killers. Jerry spent most of the time cultivating similar sickos. I mean, these were the most depraved people you could ever imagine. Often, Jerry and his crew would whisk away unsuspecting families to the super happy fun room. Once inside, the families would be treated to a birthday cake and a private show by Willy The shows would always end the same way. Jerry and his crew had performed a satanic suicide ritual. Instead of surrendering, the killers decided to take their own lives. Those familiar with satanic rituals speculate that the suicide ritual was some sort of a Katra transfer energy, where the memory and consciousness of the living relocate into non-living entities. In this case, the animatronic robots.
Yes, so that is correct. All of the people who used to work at Willy's Wonderland were serial killers. And they were just killing families and kids. And then the cops found out and they decided to show up. And when they did, they all committed suicide in a satanic cult. And before you ask why they didn't get added to the death counter, that is because they didn't technically die. They transferred their consciousness and memories into the bodies of the animatronics. So they don't count. They're dying again. They've already been counted. Ozzy the ostrich and the stupid gorilla have already been added. So don't ask any more questions when it comes to that. It's going to get a whole lot more complicated if you do. So yeah, there's your backstory. But now, no more backstory. It's time to celebrate again. So they all go back into the main room because all the animatronics have turned on for some reason. And one of them finds out the hard way that the story was kind of true. So yeah, Nighty Night decided that that guy was going to go Nighty Night. And before you ask, I know you're probably wondering, what's Nicolas Cage doing during all of this? So yeah, whenever it's Nicolas Cage's break time, he's not going to be standing around and just trying to fight off the animatronics. That's his time to go play pinball and drink his power punch, okay? So while he's doing that, since Nighty Night has showed up, the two manly men decide that they're gonna run off and scatter because they're afraid of the night. And so Liv, the girl, is now stuck in there trying not to die from Nighty Night. Well, good thing she didn't run off, because the smartest one of the group runs into this strobe light room where I'm pretty sure you can figure out what's going to happen now. And so, yep, the kid genius gets absolutely obliterated by the turtle and the fairy. But that's not even the biggest part about this. So while the two manly men are hiding, one of the boys, Chris, decides that he's going to call the sheriff's office so that he can get someone down there to help. And the very first thing that happens is whenever he mentions Willy, the sheriff hangs up because she knows what goes on at Willy's. And so she just completely ignores the call, and the guy that's there is like, don't you think that we should protect them? You know, it's called serve and protect, not serve and sit on our butts, you know? And so he calls back and it goes to voicemail, and he goes, Liv is with us. And that's when she answers and she's like, what are y'all doing there? Y'all need to get out. And she's mad because she's kind of the pseudo mother for Liv, since her parents both died in Willy's Wonderland. And so now she turns to Evan and says, we gotta go protect him, because now she cares. But before anything else happens, break time's over, suckers. So Nighty Night is now completely gone, but don't worry, because you got two more morons who are about to join him here in just a couple seconds.
Kathy!
So now that those two morons are dealt with, now we just gotta take out the trash. Isn't that right, Mr. Cage? So now that the sheriff and her partner are on their way to save Liv and nobody else, because why would they do that? She begins to explain to him what is up with Willy's Wonderland and why nobody else seems to really care about the fact that there's an animatronic that is living inside of this old restaurant and it is killing people. Well, don't worry, that's because they made a deal with it.
We were yokels. Tex eventually hired a demolition crew to destroy Willy's, except the day before bulldozers were set to roll. Eric Miller, the contractor, was found in bed as chewed up as a McDonald's hamburger. The machines got out. We found bodies at the ice cream shop, the hardware store, and even the school. We had a real Hobson's choice on our hands. Leave our people be. Leave our children be. Leave our town be, and we will feed you. We lived up to our end of the bargain. They kept theirs. We tried to find people who wouldn't be missed. People with low moral character. And some people who were just at the wrong place.
So yeah, Tex, Jeb, and the sheriff made a deal with the serial killing animatronics at Willy's Wonderland that they will bring them people as long as they don't terrorize and kill everyone in the town. But unfortunately, one of them was left alive, and that was Liv. And so the sheriff decided, I'm going to raise her as my own. And that's the only reason she cares at all about this situation. Now we go to the other manly man, you know, the one who ran away, hid, and called the cops. Well, Cammy the chameleon has found him and explains to him, I'm not like the others. I don't want to be a bad guy. You can trust me. Which, everybody can trust the serial killer who's stuck inside of an animatronic, right? Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay, we're gonna make a deal and...
So yep, Chris was killed by the Cammy the chameleon because obviously she was the one to be trusted. Just ignore the fact that she was still a serial killer trapped inside the animatronic, but oh darn. So now, it's up to Liv and Nicolas Cage to fight it, only it's time for Mr. Cage to go on his break. So Liv struggles with it for a little bit, kinda it's about 50-50 until break time's over, Cage comes in, wraps it up, and it ain't nothing but a piece of cake. So he's dragging Cammy out of there. The other two, Tito and Sarah the Siren, decide to show up. And he just brushes past them like they're nothing, just knocks them over. And he's getting ready to take Cammy outside to go throw her into the garbage until he opens the door and it's the sheriff who's here to help, right? Incorrect. She's here to make sure he gets sacrificed to all the animatronics.
Go!
No, I'm not leaving without him.
I'm not giving you a choice. Go!
I'm not leaving without him.
Get out of here!
You don't understand. You locked the wrong guy up in here. He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
Not for much longer.
So yep, obviously the sheriff's crazy. She's just like, oh, well, even though he's killed like 4 of them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there's 4 X's on the screen right now. Even though he's killed 4 of them, we should still have him sacrifice it because it's just going to make them matter. If he's already killed 4 out of the 8, he's halfway there, like he's fixed half the problem. But nope, she decides that she's going to leave them there. And I really wanted to include that clip because it's true. He's not locked in there with them. They're locked in there with him because he is going to wreak havoc upon all these animatronics. And so the sheriff tells Evan to take Liv back so she's no longer at the scene. And she's going to wait there until, Nicolas Cage gets killed. And so, as soon as they leave, Cammy and Siren decide that they are going to, take on Nicolas Cage. But it breaks away for a little bit as we watch Liv try to convince Evan that, you know what? I was going to do the right thing. I was going to rid this town of that horrid place by burning it to the ground. And Evan's like, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing too. You'll see, until somebody else has something else to say about that.
I'm gonna set things right. That's what I'm goddamn gonna do, you'll see.
Give me the keys.
And why don't we go ahead and check back in on Nicolas Cage and see how he's doing at Willy's Wonderland. In honor of this month being Hispanic Heritage Month, please enjoy this next clip as a nod to all of our Hispanic viewers out there.
To be you, chica.
Sucks to be you, pendejo.
So now that a majority of the animatronics have been taken down, it's time for Nicolas Cage to get ready for his final battle. But first, break time. And this next clip is for all of your own viewing pleasures. Please, sit back, relax, maybe get some popcorn and your favorite soda pop, and enjoy your feature presentation. Truly a work of art. Leonardo da Vinci, when he was once born, he never thought that such art would ever be made. But alas, there it is. So, he has his little break time to the wonderful song of Willy's Wonderland, and now, time to go back to work. So he takes out Sarah the Siren and Cammy the Chameleon, and on his way out, the sheriff notices, what? He's not dead. He's supposed to be dead. So she follows him back inside, holds him at gunpoint, and is basically like, okay, Willy, come get him. Get rid of him. I've got him here for you. Kill him. Just kill him. And well, Willy does. Quick fun fact, if you look up here, you can see that the body is clearly just attached to the ceiling. Nice little movie magic fun fact for you. So after the town's only sheriff gets turned into the town's only two sheriffs, Willy kind of begins to beat up on Nicolas Cage a little bit. You can't have him just coming out the gates too hard, so he gets beat up, and unfortunately, Nicolas Cage has to retreat. And he retreats to get his power punch and comes back with a vengeance. And now, it is time for the ultimate showdown. The man, the myth, the legend, the god himself. Nicolas Cage versus Willy the Weasel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it.
Around the world, live from the sold-out HSBC Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's time!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision, Nicolas the Man Cage. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, Nicolas Cage, the janitor, has defeated Willy the Weasel. And now, all he's got left to do is clean. So when morning rolls around, Jed and Tex bring down his car, and of course they think he's dead because there's no way he would have survived all that. And lo and behold, they open it up and he's cleaned the entire place. Unfortunately, it plays the song Freebird, so you're not going to be able to hear any of that. So sorry about that, but YouTube copyright is not going to let me do that. And so now, Nicolas Cage is going to ride off into the sunset. But before he goes, Liv shows up. Apparently it took her like 8 hours to walk back. I didn't think she got that far, but Evan must have been going 90 down the back roads because it took her all morning just to walk back there. And so now that she's made it back, Nicolas Cage allows her to get in the car and they drive off into the sunset. But in the meantime, Tex and Jed are talking to each other about they're gonna reopen it. They might even bring in a mechanical bull, and all these ideas are going and they know exactly what they're gonna do. There's only one problem with that entire situation.
I just might actually reopen it.
You'll need a gimmick.
And a name. Maybe Texas Turf.
That could sing. Maybe get your mechanical bull,
Yeah.
draw the customers in.
Yeah, I just might. Oh, fuck me.
Thanks for visiting Willy's Wonderland. Hope you had a fantabulous time.
So yep, add them all to the list. And now, let's check back in with Nicolas Cage and Liv as they ride off into the sunset. Hopefully there's no obstacles along the way.
I'm catching gunner.
Alright everyone, and that is the end of Willy's Wonderland. Yes, I know, it was quite the movie, but enough with that. Let's get right on into the review. So as you may not know, if you are just joining us, we review this very simply. We start with the plot, then we go to acting, cinematography, and a bonus point. The first three you can get anywhere from 0 to 3, and the bonus point is just a point, equaling up to a total of 10. So there's any numerical possibilities between 0 and 10 that a movie can get. But let's go ahead and start off with the plot for this one. For the plot, it got a 1.5, mainly just because it's basically a remake of Five Nights at Freddy's. I know there's different portions of it that are different, and it might be a little bit cheap to say that it's basically a remake of it, but it is. It just doesn't do anything that's necessarily different. It's just really close to a remake of Five Nights at Freddy's, and due to that, it keeps it a little bit low. The acting, once again, it only gets a 1.5. Overall, it wasn't great between all the characters. I thought Nicolas Cage did a really good job just kind of expressing emotions without really saying anything. I mean, he went this entire movie without saying a single word, so it takes some sort of acting chops to be able to still kind of get a character's feelings across without saying anything. So it gets the 1.5, half the total amount of points that it can get, but that's where it tops off for me. Cinematography, unfortunately, only gets a 1. I just felt like there was way too much shaky cam. They overdid it a little bit in some areas whenever it came to trying to show that intensity and the camera work, and because of that I feel like it kind of brought the entire shot down a little bit, mainly because it just doesn't add to it. It more so takes away from the fact that you're trying to figure out what's going on, kind of like with Cloverfield. There's just too much shaking going on that you can't understand what's going on, and it drops the quality more than it does to improve it. And the bonus point, we get the whole bonus point here just because overall I thought it was funny. Nicolas Cage just kind of goes in there, the whole he's not trapped in there with them, they're trapped in here with him. Just the fact that he runs in and just absolutely just shreds this problem that's haunted this town for years and years and years, and it's basically like nothing to him. He's just here to clean it, and that's what he's gonna do. So for all of you non-mathematicians, we're gonna go ahead and add it up. We had the 1.5 for the plot, the 1.5 for acting brings us to a 3, the 1 for cinematography, and the 1 for the bonus point, bringing us to an even 5 out of 10. Yes, I know that that's pretty close to what IMDb gave it, but we're going right in the middle line here. I highly recommend you go and watch this movie. It's a good just kind of sit down and watch type of movie. It's not going to be something that you're going to remember till the day that you die, or you're not going to be putting it up there with some of the greatest movies ever made, but it's definitely one where you can go, sit down, have a nice time watching it, and just kind of enjoy it for the short amount of time that it's on. The runtime's only about an hour and a half, so it's not going to take up too much of your day. I watched this with my girlfriend, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. She did not. So it's not everyone's cup of tea. I liked it. I thought it was funny. But at the same time, there's a good chance that you might not, or someone you know might not like it. But hey, if you're looking for a movie to watch and you don't know what, and you just kind of want to watch something to kill time, go for it. I'd highly recommend it. I thought it was incredibly funny, and in my opinion, you won't be disappointed. So thank you to everyone who has stopped by. This is going to be more frequent posting here. Hopefully everything kind of falls into line and I can get out more episodes. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I'm always taking suggestions on movies, so long as it's nothing too crazy. And thank you all for stopping by. Hopefully I get some more of these out, and hopefully you enjoy them. So thank you to everyone, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day.